Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first episode of Last Week with IHS 21, the talk show where seniors from Independence High School discuss semi relevant topics and overall have a chill time as we cruise through our everyday school lives. I'm your host, Lucas Gafford, one of the Class Cabinet's Assembly Commissioners, and with me today, I have some of the other members of Class Office with me. So, why don't you all introduce yourselves with your position and a fun fact about yourself? Go!
Hello, I'm Kim. I'm the senior class president. And a fun fact about myself is that my go to milk tea drink is honeydew milk tea with crystal boba.
I'm Kelly. I'm your secretary. And a fun fact about me is I am a huge sock hoarder.
I'm Lynn. I'm your class historian. And a fun fact about me is that I have a very low pain tolerance.
I'm Kim Truong. I'm one of your historians, and a fun fact about me is that I like building keyboards.
Hi, I'm Cathleen. I'm your senior class treasurer, and fun fact is I speak two other languages besides English.
Excellent. This is currently being recorded on Saturday, February 27th, 2021, and we're all raring to go. Today I'm going to bring up a series of topics and ask serial questions, yes, and ask several questions on each topic, and we'll go from there. Our guest's job is to answer honestly and as well as they can. And starting with our first question, how was y'all's week? How are we doing today? What's the energy, guys? How are we doing? What is the energy?
Was anyone else having a bad week? I was having a pretty bad week. Like it was like such a slow week.
It's
and
pretty
after
hectic.
Really, for me, I felt like the week went by so fast.
It went by fast, but it
Yeah.
was really hectic. I agree.
I think break went by super fast, and then this week went by super fast, and I felt like I wasn't productive enough with how fast time was going.
I know, and it felt like teachers kept assigning a lot of stuff.
A lot of homework.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, I'm glad I'm not the only one who thought that. Okay, but seriously though, on to our first topic. So last Wednesday, I went to go get my senior superlative photo taken for the yearbook, and I actually happened to run into Kim and Kathleen while I was there. One thing they brought up as we were talking, is that if we all went back to school, a lot of us would actually surprisingly be driving to school. What do you guys think about that?
When Kathleen and I saw you, like, skirt up in your car in the parking lot, we were like, oh my God, this is what, everyone would be doing, or, a lot of people when we get back to school and all that. And it's just interesting that we can't really experience that, like people going into school and classes with their keys and like with their Starbucks. Yeah.
Such a mature feeling too.
Yeah.
And it's like so many like movies we watch. It's like every 16-year-old drives, and here we are like 18 and stuff, and like we're not driving anywhere.
Yeah. And it's like
A little embarrassing, but it's whatever.
when you guys graduate high school, are you guys gonna like do the like driver's ed whatever to get your license?
I've been licensed since I think 16.
Okay. Wait, who else? Hang on, let me establish something here. Who actually has their driver's license here? Is it me, Kelly, and Kim T?
I have my license too.
Yeah.
All of you guys have your license?
Wait, Lynn?
License with no whip. That's what I'm
Wait,
gonna establish.
Kim T, you have your license too?
Yeah, I had my license since last year.
Same.
I drove to school around April, and then when the pandemic hit, I didn't get to drive anymore.
Yeah. As of last Friday, I've had my license for over a year, and I can legally drive passengers now.
Yup.
Last Friday. What date was that?
It was February 19th.
Oh my God, I got licensed that day too. Last year, February 19, 2020 is when I got my license.
You guys remember these dates?
Dude, that's
Yeah, I
you
remembered it
remember my
because I want to drive passengers.
So funny.
Wait,
I
where
got
did
my
you?
license January
Santa Teresa.
1st.
Oh, I got mine far away.
Y'all, I went all the way to Pittsburgh.
Why did you go to
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Because okay,
Wait,
so-
that's not a California driver's license then. Or am I thinking of a different?
No. The city.
Oh, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia.
Yeah. I'm thinking Pittsburgh,
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
I think it's Pittsburgh. It's pretty sure. Yeah. So I went with my instructor. We went at 4 a.m, and like he drove me there, and then we went over the course like 2 times, went to sleep, and then I I got my license because like apparently he said the proctors were easier there, and he knows the proctors, and he knew the course, so we went through the course. And oh my god, dude, I was such a bad driver. I don't know how I got
Did all of you
license.
guys? Did all of you guys pass first try?
I
No.
passed second.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Oh man. Yeah,
Okay,
I
it's
passed
okay,
first
y'all.
try. Yeah, the day before I was supposed to go, it was actually really scary too because that was during our February break, right? I got sick.
Mhm.
I got sick for like the first 4 days of break, all the way up to like that Tuesday, because 19th was on a Wednesday last year, I remember, and like on that Tuesday, I was just starting to feel better, and I went and practiced the course with my mom, and yeah, I passed first try. Thank goodness.
Good job, everyone. I'm still
Yeah.
licensed.
Ooh. And good job, Lynn.
Yeah, good job,
Yeah.
Lynn. You focus
Lynn,
on.
where are you with the driving process? Like, you have your permit?
Nowhere.
Did you
Okay,
do driver's
you can just
ed?
get your permit and then go to license.
I know when you're 18, it's a lot easier to get your
Yeah, because
license.
you don't have to do
Mhm.
You
driver's
don't.
ed.
Yeah.
I was
Oh my
waiting
God.
until I turn 18, but you know,
It's
you guys
okay.
are really happy
No,
for
that's
license, and
that's
it's so
also
embarrassing.
no.
It's
It's
okay.
really smart actually.
I have a license and I haven't drove since I got my license. Like
It saves. Yeah.
it just. Mhm.
I've been having my license for 2 years, but I'm finally being a better driver. That is so embarrassing to say.
Oh my
I don't
god.
know how they let me pass, but I passed.
Okay, like this is not gonna be like super. This is gonna be really bad. But like, you think you're a bad driver? The first time I drove with a license, I hit another car.
Just like right out of. Oh my god.
I really backed up, and then this dumb car was behind me. It was a freaking square. I didn't see him. I bumped him slightly. And then I was like, oh my God, don't tell my mom, don't tell my insurance. I'll pay you $400. Don't tell anyone. Get out. And then it's been with me my whole life. I have never had another accident in my life.
Hey,
Guys,
that's good.
do you guys want to hear a story actually?
Oh my
I
god.
have a driving
These are
story. It's
driving
similar. It's
driving
similar.
horror stories.
It really is though. Okay. So this was on picture day back in October.
Mhm.
I was pulling out, right? I was in the school parking lot and I was pulling out. I was about to go home. Same thing happens to me. Okay?
Oh my god.
Except I didn't realize it. I thought I backed into the back cuz I'm in the front of the school, right? I thought my wheel just hit the curb or something. So what I did was I went forward, I pulled next to the curb to see if like there's any damage on the back of my car, not looking behind me, and then I drove off.
You did a hit and run.
Oh no.
I did a hit and run, and you want to know what happened
my
afterward?
God.
Justin Mock, shout out to him if he's watching this. Justin Mock texts me, "What the heck just happened? You just hit that and then drove off." I'm like, "What?
Oh
Wait,
my
Oh
what do you mean?"
no.
And then, because at first I'm in denial, I'm like, "No, I didn't. No, I didn't." And he's like, "Dude, yes, you did." He sends me a recording of the staff all around the area now. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
okay.
Wait, so did you scratch your car or anything?
I'll get to that. I'll get to that in a bit. But my first instinct at that point was because I know they're gonna check security cameras. I know I'm gonna get busted, and if they find out about me before I fess up, then it's gonna be a lot worse for everyone. So my first instinct was to call Mr. Logan and be like, I did this. Like what like, oh no, I did this. I'm fessing up. And then what happened was one of the biggest one of the I think my favorite part of this story is that the person I hit was was one of my friend's moms. So I actually got off like
Dang.
I got off
You
with
got
like a phone
lucky.
call. Yes, I got lucky. I got very lucky.
Mhm.
There wasn't pressing charges, wasn't any insurance. They had like a plastic bumper, so it was just a little scratch. My dad's car, I drive my dad's car. His was not as fortunate. There's now a tiny dent in it, and yeah, I didn't get an earful when I got home either. My parents understood that these kind of mistakes happen, which I'm really thankful for. I'm really
So
thankful
I didn't tell my mom until 2 months ago, and that happened last year.
Oh my god.
What did
Oh
she
my
say?
God.
For a whole year. I was like, and I was just like, because sometimes I get bored, so I go to a room and just lay down and watch my phone. And I was like, Mom, you know a funny story? What happened? I got to a car
So
accident.
You were
funny.
like, let me try to be
what
subtle.
happened?
Yeah, I'll be
Right
subtle.
after
Yeah.
that happened, she literally came home. I went to practice, so I went to get boba. That's where it happened. And then I came back home, and then I was going to basketball practice. And then when I came back from basketball practice, she literally told me the story. Kim, if you ever hit someone, tell me immediately, because later on they can come back at you and sue you and get you to the court. I was like, I would never hit anyone. And that went on for a whole year. So she didn't know anything. And she would just consistently tell me stories about her friends hitting someone and going to court. I was like,
What a coincidence.
Yeah. Parking lots. If you're taking driver's ed right now and you're listening in on this, parking lots are the worst. Parking lots are where you need to be the most careful, the most attentive, and even if you're driving a newer car with like where it has like if you're backing into something, it'll start beeping. That doesn't work if you're hitting at an angle. If you're backing out and then turning right, it doesn't alert you.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be very attentive. You need to be looking around both shoulders all the time. Because I think it's a lot easier for that stuff to happen in a parking lot where all the stuff is close rather than on the when you're just on the main road, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially like if you're in a plaza, people are walking out of their cars into their cars, shopping carts are flying around,
Yeah, it's
and
really
it's like you gotta expect that everything's coming at you in a parking lot. And it's like I feel like a lot of people try to speed up in a parking lot, and I think that's like one of the worst things you can do, because you might not see that old lady coming out of your rear, and then you're backing up, and then
yeah,
and then like accidents happen, and then by then you're just regretful. But like it's like you should have been careful in the first place. And I think that's why like I try every possible way to like park in the least busiest area where there's like few cars, few people walking, even if that means I have to walk a farther distance to get to my destination.
You guys know who the worst people are to encounter? Bikers.
Oh,
They are so reckless. It's like even if it's like it's their fault, it's your fault because it's car versus bike.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I think the worst person for me is a bus, because I almost got hit by a bus.
I actually agree with that. Buses are so big, but they're always pulling up and then pulling out, and you don't know if they're seeing you about to cross, so I just switched to the next lane.
Or like when buses are parked at a bus stop and they're trying to merge back into the road, you don't know if they want to merge now or later, and you don't know if you want to let them merge first, or you don't want to like cut them off either.
Because technically you have the right of way. You have the right of way, but it's still paranoid because it's like that's the big bus. If that were to start pulling out, then
takes up a huge chunk of the road.
People don't know the right of way sometimes, I swear.
Oh my God.
I swear, as soon as I started driving on the road, I swear I became so much angrier as a person.
Okay, well,
see,
you guys
Lynn, maybe you were the smart one for not getting your driver's license.
Okay, see, well, you guys have accident stories, but I think it was last week. I was driving home from work, and I don't know if it happened, but I feel like I ran over a skunk. And it was the most traumatizing thing ever, and I still think about it. Like, I come home from work every Sunday night, and it's normal. And then just last week, I'm just driving. It was like 35 miles, right? So I was driving around there. I wasn't even going any faster. Like, I'm driving, and then it's like, the middle of the road is where the VTA is. So the tracks, right? And then I'm just driving, and then something just rushes out, and I think it's a skunk because I saw the white tail, that skunks have.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't stop in time because it went like right in front of my car. And then I hear like a bump.
Oh, and you're just
I was like, oh my God. I was like halfway home, and I drove home like traumatized. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if it's guts and blood is like splattered all over my car, or if it like missed it. I don't know if I ran like I made my mom check it because I was not trying to see skunk organs up in my car. So then she's checked it. She said she didn't see anything, but I swore like, I don't know, hopefully maybe like I feel like maybe if it missed it and it like hit the top of my car but like still ran
over the tail. You ran over the tail.
I don't know, dude. I'm still paranoid. And then yesterday I was like about to turn into my house, and I feel like a cat like ran like underneath my car. I didn't run over it because I went back to check and I didn't see anything, but I saw the cat like on the other side of the neighborhood, like right where my cars just passed by, and I feel like it just ran under it, and then like it was kind of big, and that's what I heard. But oh my God, I'm like so scared now because that was so traumatizing. I don't know if I ran over that squirrel. Like, I felt so bad. I went home and I Googled, what if you ran over like a squirrel or a skunk or something? Like, what do you do? And then they're like, oh, honestly, you can't do anything about it because it's like, it happens. But
They're
I
gonna
feel
revive it
so
from the
bad.
dead.
It's like the first time I took a life.
Oh,
It's crazy.
I pray.
Do you guys have any funny stories like with driving with your parents?
Other
My mom
than
gets scared when I drive her. She's like,
Mine too.
she's so dramatic. She holds onto like the thingy that you have in the car, and yes,
yeah, I feel
exactly.
both
And
my parents do that, except my mom is like,
Wow,
especially like,
really?
I'll drive. She'd be like, I'll be like, I'll offer to drive, and then she'll be like, no, I'll drive.
I think honestly, I got lucky and my parents were pretty chill. And I think I'm also like a careful driver. Well, not well
You would be a
that
careful
skunk
driver.
that skunk made me think differently, but for the most part, I believe I'm pretty careful. So I was pretty surprised to see that they weren't so dramatic being in the car with me or anything. Like, I know most parents are like, oh my God, I fear for my life, and yeah.
For me, the freeway. So I remember my mom made me like drive her to Morgan Hill so like she can like check out her workplace. So that was like my first time like driving, like actually driving on the freeway. And I remember she would tell me, she was like, speed up, speed up. She was like, gas, gas. And the next thing she's like, slow down, slow down. I was like, dude, you gotta pick one. Come on, we're on the freeway. You can't do it.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
And they're like,
Because my dad is an especially aggressive driver, and so he expects me to kind of do the aggressive moves, like speeding up, going around people on the freeway if they're too slow, switching lanes and all that. And then yeah, I'm like a balance between careful and like wanting and like kind of aggressive. It's
Have you
kind of
guys
this mix.
ever needed to honk at someone?
No, not yet.
That's
But
Yes.
I've come close because people on the off ramp coming off of the freeway, they don't know that I have the right of way, and I get pissed.
Dude, those people, they're so reckless. They are so reckless. Like they just, when you're like just still going, they like
just
they
go
think
zoom.
they just think they have some type of leeway, and they just, I don't know. And those people who don't signal, like this morning I was driving, and I was going at a pretty good pace, and this person decided to cut me off, right, and like their oh my God, I don't even know what I'm saying. Their butt portion was right aligned with my head.
Oh,
I was
so you
like-
had to brake.
So I had to brake, and the person behind me, it was like a rapid brake, so I felt bad for the person behind me.
Oh,
But, like,
brake check.
Oh my God, it was like right in the middle of the light too. Like, can't you just wait till
Wait,
we
you can't.
pass?
That's illegal. You can't change in the middle of the light.
Exactly.
When
And it
people
was, like,
cut
the
me off,
whole
I get really
butt.
annoyed.
Oh my God.
I get really annoyed.
I know. I'm so over.
Yeah, my parents don't, or my mom, because I usually don't drive with my dad, but my mom used to like, when I used to go with my mom, like she would not signal and I would be on her about it. I'm like, why aren't you signaling? Because when you're trying to like come out of a plaza or something and you're trying to merge into traffic, like if someone signals that they're turning in, that's like, an opportunity for you to go as they're turning in. But if they don't signal, you think they're going straight, and then like at the last minute they turn and you're like, wow, I should have went if you signaled, because then I would have known you're turning.
Exactly.
And like I also hate it when you're trying to change lanes and stuff, and like the car behind you sees that you're trying to signal into their lane and they speed up so that they won't let you change into their lane. Like I hate that. Like, why are you being so petty? Why are you being like this?
All right. Man, that went on a big tangent, and we are going to be moving on to the
Yeah.
next topic
We-
now, but I think the main lesson we need to learn here is that Lynn made the right decision.
Yeah.
Because she saved money and she doesn't have to deal with the shenanigans.
But there's so many pros of driving. I mean, we're not going to get into that, but
Yeah.
I feel I don't regret getting my
Not right now,
license
there's
or
not that many
anything.
pros. I just run errands for my parents, and if I need to go to the school, I need to go to the school.
Yeah.
But like after that, yeah. Going on to our next topic. That was pretty good. You guys have good taste, honestly. Now, going completely almost off of that topic though, we are almost out of high school. Whether you think that's a yay or a nay, that's up to you. And with college apps already done, many of us are already contracting the other deadly and dreadful disease known as senioritis.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Has senioritis hit all you guys?
Yeah.
I feel like it came out of nowhere, and like you don't really admit to yourself that it's senioritis until you really sit and think, why am I feeling so lazy, so unmotivated, and not wanting to do anything? because I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna use senioritis as an excuse, because especially since we're home now and everything's slightly a little bit easier since we're not commuting to school and everything. But lately, just that wave of laziness, that wave of not wanting to do schoolwork and stuff, I think you can call that senioritis.
I thought I
That's
hit
true.
senioritis in the beginning of the school year, but honestly, right now, I feel like it's like a bus hit me.
It's like the feeling of wanting to graduate already. Like every day I think like, oh, there's no point. We should just graduate. There's no
Yeah.
point. Like, can we just graduate? Like that, the thought just keeps coming. And
I
yeah,
agree,
And I
especially with.
believe oh, sorry, go ahead.
I especially agree with the whole it's no point kind of mentality, because it's like we're adults soon, and
Mm.
I know a lot of us feel that there are a lot more important matters at hand than freaking I'm trying to think of a calc term, but I'm not in calc, so I wouldn't know. Limits, are those hard? Limits? I don't know.
they're okay.
I actually kind of disagree with Kathleen though. I know exactly when senioritis hit me,
Mhm.
and
Well, that's good for you.
yeah,
I think most of us are like in denial most of the time. Like, no, this is just no, because I think it's kind of hard to differentiate whether it's senioritis or maybe it's like the pandemic. How everyone's also affected by that. So
Mhm.
maybe would it have been different if we were at school and we weren't in a pandemic? Like, would we still be this unmotivated and um, lazy?
yeah, that's true. Because like I know in the beginning of the year for me, up until around October, I was really motivated, doing all my work, getting it all done.
Yeah,
No,
even like if we didn't want to do it first semester, we still got it done, because it's just about that. Oh, meeting the deadline, turning it in time, just at least get something in. But I feel like once second semester started, it was supposed to be like a fresh start, do better than you did first semester. I think I actually went the opposite way, like, instead of, doing better, new year, new me kind of thing, I just kind of went downhill and farther down.
oh man, I felt
Me
that.
too. Like I
Really?
always I think about school, and it just makes me so sad because okay, this is so personal, but I'm personally going to CC, and I always think about why did I choose all these classes for senior year, and why did I try so hard, and I want to give up. I genuinely want to give up so bad in school right now. I just want to just pass borderline, but it's just the feeling that my parents, they don't really care about grades, but the fact that they're so happy with whenever I bring home a good grade, like it kind of puts me in a position where I want to just give up, but my parents seem so happy in it. If that's the reason why I'm just getting things in.
You
Mm,
know, even though it's like almost March and the decisions are about to come out, I still have no idea where I'm about to head to. Like, I don't know if I want to head to a CC or CSU or any college that's about to accept me. If not, I don't know, but I still don't know where I'm heading to, and that's like really stressing me out more than the work, to be honest. But yeah, the work is still a big load in my stress factor.
I think this is a good segue into how we're like only 17, 18, and I don't like I've always questioned why how like there's a structure of life for your baby, and then you grow up, you go to school, and then you become a teenager and then an adult, and you're supposed to magically know what you want to do with your life. And I always question why seniors in high school have to decide make such a big decision on where they want to go in their life, where we want to major, what we want to do. I feel like everyone's always like, oh, you have time, and then the time hits and you're like, okay, you don't have no more time. And then you're just like, well, how am I supposed to know what I want to do when I never really experienced what life was like, outside of school and outside of doing homework that I don't know might not be useful out in the real world.
exactly. It's all
and
kind of
it
like this
and it
huge kind of guessing game, and if you guess wrong, that's thousands of dollars out the window.
Hmm.
That's a lot of money, a lot of stuff. But you were right. This is a good segue into our next topic, which actually is college acceptances. Yeah.
Yay!
Yay.
Adult
woohoo.
choices.
Woo! Oh yeah. So I'm actually the same as Kelly. Actually, I'm going. So I applied to five colleges, five big colleges: SGSU, UC Irvine, UCLA, USC, and Stanford, I'm not going to any of them. I decided that De Anza is just the best way to go because of De Anza promise where it's like tuition's free for 2 years, really low spending, and to get my associates, to get my general ed out of the way and get it done cheaper, and then transfer to a higher school because transfer rates are also really good at De Anza. I just felt like that's just the smarter option. Get no student debt.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, I remember, like, for me, I don't have, like, oh my God, I'm going so personal, but I don't have the free lunch. So waivers and stuff did not apply for me. So then I was looking at all these, like fees adding up, and I was like, I can't do this to my parents. It's like, yeah, they support me. They want big goals, but like at the end of the day, will I really be happy going to school knowing like I did this to my parents? You know, like they're gonna be happy, but in reality, like they're gonna be struggling. And if I know that, I can't do that to them. Plus, like you're right, it's a good way. It's a good, like, it's safer, and like every step you take, it's more secured in a sense. You know?
And I think it's like really great that how most of us have come to realize that CC is actually a really good route. I feel like growing up, ever since elementary, middle school, you think that, okay, I'm going to graduate to high school and aim at, Stanford, Ivy Leagues and all that. And I guess like we weren't introduced to the CC pathway until I said up to like last year maybe, because none of us were like, oh, let's go attend CC. We never really decided that. We were like, oh, we want to go to the UCs or the CSU bare minimum. None of us were considering De Anza, Mission College, or the CCs. So I think that a lot of us, or there still is a lot of stigma with CC, how it's not as quality as the UCs and stuff. But really, I've done a lot of research, and people are like, well, when you come out to work, they don't really care about where you go to school. It's about all the experience that you have. And and even if you go to different schools, you practically learn the same thing. And it's just you're paying more for basically the brand, the name of the school and all that.
I think we just need to remind ourselves that it doesn't matter like where we start, but ultimately, what our goals are in the end and like how we're gonna work there to achieve those goals. Like it doesn't matter if you go to go to a CC or like a less well-known college, as long as you put in the work and like you stay true to yourself, you're gonna ultimately end up where you want to.
Yeah, and make sure you have the right professors.
Yeah.
So our final topic, since we are seniors and we're going to be leaving the school behind and we recollect what we did, one of the biggest parts of our time in high school was the clubs and the sports. What is your guys' experience with both of those, one of those? Or if you haven't been in either of them, go talk about that. Yeah.
I entered high school like my freshman year being a part of like the volleyball team, and that was because volleyball was like the fall sport. It was, right when school started, and that was how I met Kim freshman year because we were on the same team and everything. And it gave me like a really interesting and like unique introduction to high school. I met a lot of people. We had like a sleepover in the gym, in the big gym, and it was so interesting because I can't believe my mom let me like sleep with all these people that I've only met for like a few days. And it was really cold. Like the AC was on and everything, but it was such a fun experience.
The AC was on in the fall? That's weird.
It was on and it was so cold. And Coach Finney, she stayed up the whole night. Every time I woke up, I would look over at her and she's just like on her laptop, like looking over all the girls and stuff. Yeah.
That's commitment. Maybe she was just on some caffeine.
Yeah, no, she's that type of person. Like she has to let everyone sleep before she can sleep. So my sophomore year, I did volleyball again, and with the sleepover, me and my friends, we stayed up to 3 a.m. just doing hidden lines, like over and over. Right after we took a shower, and then Finny came up to me like, "Hey, are you guys almost done?" And we literally said, "Yes, we're done. We'll just go sleep now." And then she, after like 30 minutes after we went to bed, she went to bed, and then she's always really considerate of us, like because she doesn't want anything to happen. She wants, like, if someone gets hurt, we can't like say anything if she is asleep, because she is the adult supervision within like what 60 girls.
Yeah. So I didn't join any sports. I know freshman year I wanted to join swim. There was a hockey team I would have joined, but because I joined theater instead, and so swimming,
Mhm.
the spring musical rehearsals overlapped with swim season, and I just kind of decided to stick with theater. Stuck with theater for 3 years, freshman to junior year. I really enjoyed it for the most part. It really shaped me to who I am today, made me more confident, all that yada yada yada. I made a lot of good friends too. A lot of them were upperclassmen, so they're all gone now. But shout outs to them if they're watching this. I don't do theater now because just because it's my choice. I decided to move on and do other things.
Mhm.
But I think it's really good to have, like, especially when we were coming in as freshmen, to have that kind of environment, because it kind of gives you a place to hang out, gives you friends to hang out with. And that's why I really encourage, like, putting yourself out there in a way.
Are any of you guys in clubs?
Um I'm currently okay, so currently I'm the secretary and the lead producer for the IHS Smash Club. I'm a board member for the German club.
So like how do you guys feel about clubs moving virtual, and like how has that changed, and or if it changed anything for you?
So
Um
I'm secretary for the Lights and Trafficking Club, and this is like my first year being a part of Lights and Trafficking. And I just wish that, like, obviously there's a huge difference in hosting meetings, in real life and like having them over Zoom and stuff. And there's just a part of like, it feels as if the club itself, and not just my club, but like all the other clubs on campus, it feels like something's missing from it, like because we can't really experience everything else that typically happens in school. And it just sucks, like not having to go through all that and do those activities, and knowing that it's your senior year, you might not ever get to enjoy them again.
Yeah, I'm an officer for ARC, Acts of Random Kindness Club, and I've been in ARC for all 4 years, and it has been a part of me, and it's a major influence for what my senior quote was, and so I think our club kind of did a pretty good job on moving virtually, and like him said, there's also like a really big chunk missing, because I feel like a big part of ARC when we were before pre-COVID was that we would go out and give the activities or whatever we made that day out to strangers, and that would be our attempt at making someone's day, specifically a stranger and not anyone you know. And I feel like that's something that's completely taken away now because we're online, and we're the activities that we're doing doesn't fully reflect what ARC is all about, because it's all about self-care now, since we're not able to meet up with people, and we have to social distance, and it's kind of hard to do stuff over Zoom because you really never know if the people attending are really there to be there, or just to be there just to get the kind of recognition that they're in the club. And that's where I kind of like sympathize with teachers, because they don't know what their students are doing behind the screen, because everyone's cameras are off, and people are just talking to basically nothing, because we don't really know if they're even listening.
Although I see ARC all the time on Instagram, like, you
Mhm.
guys do an amazing job at publicizing. I always know when the ARC event is gonna happen,
Yeah.
what time it's gonna happen, what's it gonna be about. You
Mhm.
guys did a really good job
Yeah.
transferring over to online format, and that's a really good. You guys have a really good example.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
for
really
sure.
big on publicizing. Like sometimes I feel like I'm annoying everyone who follows me, because we're posting the same thing every 2 days. But I feel like it's I think it's being more annoying is getting the word out there, rather than trying not to be annoying and everyone's like, oh, what event are you talking about, kind of thing. So even though it's kind of annoying, I guess it worked because Lucas knows about our events even though he's not in the club. So yeah, and I
Yeah.
think
One thing I kind of want to, since we're talking about clubs, I kind of want to talk about Smash Club for a bit, not to promote or anything, but to talk about how clubs can not only make us feel included, but they can also give us purpose. We all know junior year sucked, right? Like, raise your hand if junior year was just the absolute worst. Everyone's raising their hands on the screen right now. I felt really, as everyone does junior year, and like without a purpose, without like whatever going on in my head. I remember I would go to Smash Club sometimes, but I forgot how it went, but I reached out to them to be able to edit their videos, like how a tournament style like video games work for our tournaments and events and stuff. And that turned out to be one of the best decisions I ever made junior year, because that did give me a purpose. It let me express my creativity through editing while also helping out a club with that I had a lot of friends with. And yes, and now I'm in the cabinet. I'm working for the club. I love working with the club, by the way, making events, making all this stuff a reality through streams and getting like breaking the algorithm on YouTube. It's really fun. And it was easy to move online because it's a video game. We have a lot of our club stuff on Discord anyway. Clubs are that's why I wanted to discuss this today, because clubs were a big part of at least my time in high school.
That's so beautiful. That's so great to hear, honestly. Imagine, like, especially during a time where like junior year was so difficult. Like, it was just find any possibility that make us happy, just cling on to it. So I'm really happy that you're able to like find your purpose during such like a bad year.
Thank you. Okay, wait, which was worse, junior year or senior year?
Junior year. I think I was on something on junior year. I don't know.
Yeah, I have to agree. Because at least right now we have something to look forward to, which is graduation.
Do we look forward to graduation?
I do.
I
do.
look forward to getting out.
I look forward to
Okay,
just
yeah. I look
yeeting
forward to
myself.
just like, moving on to the next step of our life, but graduation, that's still in question, whether how that's gonna
the
happen.
actual like graduation
Yeah, the
event. I
actual
don't know if I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
because,
that's what I was like.
because
But
it's
yeah, I think we're all ready, or kind of ready. I don't know. I don't know if I'm like physically and mentally ready, but there's like an image there where we're like, I'm kind of 4 years of high school, get it done. We went through it all, and now it's time to move on.
Yes, I agree. That is very beautiful. And with that is our show. I'd like to give an extra special thanks to all of you guys who came, and all of you listening right now who made it to the end. We deeply appreciate it. If you have any topics you would like to discuss, or if you would like to be part of one of these episodes, feel free to DM the class Instagram at IHSCO 2021. Again, that's IHSCO 2021. This has been Last Week with IHS 21. I'll see you next time.